Now I'm coming at you with a little bit of speculation in today's video, so I'm hoping you will stick with me. It involves some possible restored content coming to Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, or at the very least some music that we have never heard before. And yes, it does involve the music that you are hearing right now. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you like what you're seeing, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to stick around for some Final Fantasy Tactics content, then you're already in the right place, just hit that subscribe button. So I went down quite the rabbit hole just because of a piece of music, to then coming to a conclusion of maybe we'll be getting some restored content to Final Fantasy Tactics. Now this music that's still playing in the background was first heard upon a clip that was posted on the Japanese Twitter account that's covering Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, and the player is going on the world map to a tavern or a shop or something along those lines, and this track is playing. Now a lot of people thought that this was a new track, but what if I told you that this is actually one of 32 unreleased tracks that didn't make it to the English version of the game? Some of these tracks did make it in the Japanese version. Now this is where the rabbit hole started to get bigger for me as I did a little bit more research. Now this track in particular, and some of the 32 unreleased tracks, were composed by Yukiko Mitsu and Yuko Miura, who were co-composers on the Final Fantasy Tactics soundtrack, and the track that we are hearing during this clip and in this video is called Relief. And there is a little bit of backstory behind this track. This is what Yukiko Mitsu had to say about this track. When I write a song like this, in between dark and heavier pieces, it's like a much needed breath of relief. On this occasion, I was in need of something especially heartwarming, so I went to see the movie Fly Away Home. The first scene with a car accident used this quiet song in the background, and I thought to myself, yes, there are many ways to use background music. I started out watching it with a calm, detached attitude, but before I knew it, it was all tears. Animal movies, you know? And this was taken from the Japanese Final Fantasy Tactics' composer commentary, of which, where if you enter a certain Japanese phrase, being BGM, allows you to have all of the music have a bit of composer commentary, and I'll leave that link down below if you want to read all of the commentary on all the tracks that we know and love, and all of these unknown tracks that we have not witnessed. But these tracks were in the Japanese version, or at least some of these 32 tracks, because the Japanese version of Final Fantasy Tactics, believe it or not, had minigames. Choose your own adventure minigames, and this is the speculation part where I think that maybe these are getting restored and translated to English for us to finally witness. So what are these mini games? Well, like I mentioned, they're choose your own adventures. They are quite meaty in its content. These are known as the sound novels, and these are unlocked when specific artifacts are earned in the game. And there are 4 related to the elements in the Chronicle section of the game. Now, these sound novels don't have any meaning to the main plot, but they are side stories that tell the history of Ivalice. So for the lore buffs and the people that like the world of Ivalice, this is quite the thing here. But due to time and financial constraints, the sound novels never made it into the English version and just became dummied features. Now, if you do a bit of digging on the internet, you can find some translated versions of it, and I will have some playing in the background so you can see how this looks. But these novels in particular play the music from the 32 unreleased tracks from Final Fantasy Tactics, including the track that we've heard in the Ivalice Chronicles, Relief. Now, I could stop here and say, well, maybe they just want to restore some of this missing music in Ivalice Chronicles in certain places, or I could go a step further and say that maybe, again, that they are bringing these to the Ivalice Chronicles for us to experience a little bit more lore. Now, the 4 stories we have here, one of them is Oilevert. It's the same location from Final Fantasy IX that I can't pronounce. I'm sure someone's going to break it down in the comments so we can all learn from that. And this novel in particular is a spy story story, and of alert is a woman spy assigned to monitor an amnesiac writer whose lost memories hold a particularly explosive secret, and the player's actions during this choose your own adventure determine whether or not of alert and her charge survive. The next one is called Nanai's Histories. Nanai is a renowned psychologist of Ivalice and has spent his life analysing different characters, and in this adventure he tells the story of the gambler Tango. Tango the gambler is married to Lucinda. His excessive gambling habit worries Lucinda, who left him for another man named Lance. Saddened, Tango spends time at the bar near the Chocobo racetrack. He overhears conversations about people betting on different chocobos. When the winning chocobo is announced, Tango realizes the winning chocobo was not of the chocobos people had bet on. Tango encounters Lucinda with Lance. He vows in front of them to win all the races and then give up on the gambling. The player must listen to all the conversations in the raceway and pick up chocobo names before betting on one. And the ending depends on the player's selection. I feel like this could be called Tango of Tears, a little bit of a reference of the not so good victory fanfare from Final Fantasy VII's chocobo racing. The next one we have is Messer's Musings. Now this is an adventure story. Messer Rickson travels on his airship with his crew in search of a city of lost gold. On limited supply of HP, which is the fuel in this adventure, the player has to explore various islands and collect 4 jewels while engaging in battles with the airships of the Palamecium Empire. And then last but not least, we have the Ivalice Chronicles. This novel is a historical drama about the 3 daughters of Lord Albert of Coos Castle. The youngest daughter, Lucia, falls in love with a lowly gardener's son, Kurt, and the player guides their relationship. So these are really unique stories that expand the world of Ivalice that we've never experienced, and probably is why we've never heard this music. And when we heard it in that clip on the Japanese Twitter, we were thinking, hey, they're going to be adding new music, but it's music that's always been there and been part of an unreleased music selection of up to 32 tracks. So with this information, I'm thinking, because we have the original team working on this remaster and they're introducing things, and the artifacts that we get are from errands, and they've talked about errands, and they've talked about adding new dialogue that they had originally but they didn't have time to put it in. I do have a bit of an inkling that maybe they will be reintroducing this content that was lost in translation, I guess you could say, and gives us some mini-games, which is crazy. Choose your own adventure, mini-games within Final Fantasy Tactics. Is that something you'd want? Is this something that you knew about? It's definitely a rabbit hole I've dove into and maybe looked into it too much, but with the introductions of the music, it kind of opens up the floodgates just a little bit. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. It's just another thing that gets me excited about this game, and having the original creators of the game involved may lead to content that we didn't get in that Japanese version when it came over to its Western release. So please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate your time. I know it's a back-to-back Final Fantasy Tactics video. It's late at night at the moment, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to just do it anyway and see where we go with this. So thank you, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.